Support provided by the LSU Alumni Association and the Cook Hotel and Conference Center at LSU. Let's start in the American with the Tulane Green Wave, who 1 week ago against Texas El Paso, or Texas San Antonio rather, the only way you could describe it is flat out disappointing. They got blown out in the Alamo City, but now there was a chance to rebound. They were up in Memphis, off of Beale Street, taking on a very good Tigers team that right now was in the guide position in terms of being one of the teams to get into the playoff system from one of the smaller conferences. Well, two of the hotter names in the coaching carousel right now, Ryan Silverfield from Memphis, and of course John Summerall for Tulane. First play of the game, Jake Retzlaff showing what kind of night it was going to be. Drops back to pass, hits Shaz Preston in stride, drops it perfectly. 65 yards. Scott, when we look at it again, basically Shaz Preston said, I can outrun you, and he just goes.
This is why you get those playmakers on the outside, because you get these one-on-one matchups. You give the quarterback time. You have a good quarterback. He can make that delivery. Then you make him pay with speed down the field.
Just go deep and I'll hit you, and he did. And Tulane, just like that, has the 7-0 lead. But Memphis answers. They've got a very good quarterback, too, in Brendan Lewis. He goes down the middle to Jamari Hawkins. 55 yards, almost the same looking type pass, just going the other direction. We are tied at 7. But back come the Green Wave. It's a 10-play drive, capped off with Javen Gordon getting into the end zone from 5 yards out, and it's 14-7, Tulane on the road. Very first play of the second quarter, Arrington Maiden looks, keeps, goes. He's running 21 yards untouched to the end zone, and we're tied at 14. But Tulane comes right back. 6 plays, 75 yards. How many times have we seen this from Jake Retzlaff? 33 yards, he takes it into the end zone, and it's 21-14. Tulane defense gets a stop, and that leads to a 3-play drive. Retzlaff to Anthony Brown-Stevens, 54 yards, and at this point in the ballgame, Retzlaff has not had an incompletion. It's 28-14 Tulane. Memphis threatens inside the 23rd and 11. Brendan Lewis gets the sack. Huge play for Tulane's defense. Memphis has to settle for a field goal. Tulane, though, does not settle. Once again, going 75 yards, Retzlaff hits Preston again for another touchdown. Shaz Preston, how many do you have? 2. 35-17, Tulane is on top. Tulane opens the second half of the field goal, makes it 38-17, but we go to the fourth. First play of the quarter. Frank Peasant keeps it, takes it in from 2 yards out. It's 38-25. Green Wave then go 3 and out. It's offsides on Tulane, so it's a free play. Memphis takes advantage of it, and look at the catch. Brendan Lewis to Brady Cluse. Look at the catch he makes. An incredible catch. It's 38-32. But under 2 minutes to go. Tulane can put it away with a first down, and Jake Retzlaff gets the first down. On 3rd and 4, he gets exactly what he needs. He hits the turf, and it's a big-time bounce back for Tulane as they get the win on the road at Memphis, 38-32.
I'm so proud of our guys for their resiliency, for their response. We talked a lot about response this week, and just bad things are going to happen sometimes, and it's not always going to be pretty. It's not always going to be perfect. There's going to be, sometimes you're going to stumble in the game of football and in life, but nobody's going to feel sorry for you. And sometimes people are going to be negative about you, and you just got to keep showing up and have a good attitude and go back to work. And I'm proud of them doing that. I thought, man, it's so cool to see how our group responded. Very, very proud of them.
Throughout the year, man, we've had that success, and we just did a great job finishing drives in the red zone, especially. I think that would be the highlight of the night in the first half is we finished drives in the red zone, and a couple of them we didn't even need to because we're taking those shots and we're catching them and scoring with them. And I think that's goes to show these receivers, man, they're playing at another level. Those guys who made plays tonight, they caught and scored.
And it kind of took, looking back at what we did, it kind of took a realization to be hey, there's some stepping up that needs to be done. You know what I mean? So whether it is, and it helps that Sam Howard is back first and foremost, you know what I mean? But other than that, there is some stepping up that needs to be done. And so we took the time to kind of look at ourselves. We got together as a defense, and we just made that the emphasis all throughout the week.
I mean, our season at this point in time is a championship game every week. There's no other options about it. And so for us, we knew we had to be 1-0 this week. And that's what we say every week. But the stress is obviously higher and higher. November football is what they remember, right? November games is the games they remember. And so we knew we had to win this one. And also November games is who decides to go to what championships and whatnot. And so that's a good football team, and we play well.
It's not about the next 3 games. It's about just hey, let's wake up tomorrow. Let's go to the training room. Let's get our guys' bodies right. Let's Sunday give them an academic day. And let's Monday get ready for the next one. Like I don't know that this team right now we're mature enough to worry about like, okay, we're in control of our own destiny. Let's go worry about the next 3 weeks. Like, let's just freaking worry about today. Like I'm worried about all those dudes showing up to the airplane in about an hour with their IDs. Like that's what this group's like coaching right now. This group, I'm like worried that they all have their ID when we go back to the plane.
Retzlaff's just the best. 38-32, Tulane gets the win as Retzlaff throws for 375 yards, 4 touchdowns, that 1 rushing touchdown plus 3 through the air, 6 sacks and 10 tackles for loss for the Green Wave defense, who are back in action next weekend with those sweet new Threads at home when they take on Florida Atlantic. You could tell, Scott, listening to them, they took that loss at Texas San Antonio personally because they got run out of the arena, the Alamo Dome, 1 week ago. But what a great response to go to a team in Memphis that's leading the charge to be in the playoff system. Now Tulane put a big crimp into that.
Yeah, and I think going back to last week, what was so shocking about that loss on the road is Tulane's won the most games of anybody since 2022 on the road. So they got shocked. But I think a great sign of a well-coached team and a high-character team is how you bounce back from adversity. Every team faces adversity, no matter where you are, what level of football you're playing, what sport you're playing. It's how do you bounce back from it. And I think there's a very well-coached team to come out, run up 35 points in the first half against a Memphis team who's had 1 loss on the year. I think it was a great bounce-back game.
Yeah, you just mentioned to take a look. Since 2022, how have teams done on the road? Well, the team leading the charge is the Tulane Green Wave because they now, with that win at Memphis, have 18. That's better than Oregon, SMU, Ohio State, and James Madison. By the way, those teams all on the road, they all won as well. But Tulane leading the pace since 2022. And that goes to speak so highly of John Summerall, Scott, which is probably why his name is being tossed around right now in the coaching carousel, because when you can take your team on the road and do that consistently ahead of all those other teams, he's got a lot to offer.
And rightfully so. I think Coach Summerall is one of the best coaches in the country. I see so many similarities when I see him speak and watch him, the way he demands excellence from his team, but he still jokes around with them. I see a lot of Sean Payton in Coach Summerall. I think Coach Summerall could coach at the NFL level. I really think he's that good of a coach, a motivator. He demands excellence from his players, and his players play hard for him. Sometimes you get beaten down by that as a player, so there's got to be a balance there. There's got to be a joking side. The game's got to be fun, but I think it's also the perfect pairing. You have a great head coach and a really good quarterback, and it's just a perfect marriage, and that's filtrating out through the rest of the team.
Speaking of the quarterback, let's take a look at Jake Retzlaff in action, because what a first half he had. As we mentioned, he had to throw his first incompletion. Actually, his first incompletion wasn't even an incomplete pass. It was a drop. He hit his tight end right in the hands, who dropped the ball. But he was so red hot in the first half. Hit his first 10 passes. Now, there was some regression, Scott, in the second half because the offense went cold. More on that in just a moment. But we have seen how good Jake Retzlaff has been, considering he got to campus so late in the offseason, yet has really picked up the system to lead the charge.
He's been outstanding. He's been one of the best portal transfers of the offseason. I think when you look at his fit into what Tulane's asking him to do, early in the year it was his legs. He utilized his legs. He found a way to get it done. Now you see the passing game come to life. There's weapons on the outside. They're making explosive plays down the field. That makes them dangerous. They held on in the second half, got a little bit conservative, let the defense do their thing. But I think when you get things going with the legs and now deep downfield, defense is going to have a tough way of knowing how to defend you.
Okay, so to that point now, in the second half, there were 0 passing yards in the fourth quarter for Retzlaff, 22 rushing yards in the fourth quarter. The second half overall was sluggish. The fourth quarter was abysmal. But then we go to your side of the ball, because it was time for the defense to step up, and they did in a big way. When the offense went cold in the second half, and specifically in the fourth quarter, here's what the defense was able to do for the Tulane Green Wave. They needed to step up on the road. Memphis is getting that momentum. So what did that Green Wave defense do, Scott? 2 sacks in the fourth quarter. They got an interception, and then there was a fourth down. Memphis had to get it, and Tulane denied it when you needed it the most. Complimentary football, the defense came through.
Making plays when they matter the most, that's what it's about. Sometimes it's hard to play defense when you have a lead, as crazy as that sounds. You know, we had number 9, Drew Brees, for a while, where they jump out to leads, and now you're playing prevent defense really the whole second half. So you're playing basic vanilla coverages. Sometimes offenses take advantage of that, but it's about making the plays when they matter most. Memphis scored 2 touchdowns in the fourth quarter. Things got a little tight, but then they stepped up and said, let's clinch this thing. We're not going to lose another one.
Big win for Tulane on the road before they return home next weekend.